In India, there are about 63.5 million MSMEs in all. And come to think of it, that with the new definition of MSME in place since June 2020, when turnover has also been factored in for the definition of MSMEs, which now stands as all enterprises with 50 crores and above turnover are medium enterprises, and below 50 crores are all micro and small enterprises. Micro, of course, is annual turnover below 10 crores. So perhaps 5 crores. So now with this definition in place, I just would like to carry forward the point that Kiranji made, that in India, if you look at the granular data, India has just about 240,000 business enterprises with their annual turnover exceeding 50 crores, which means out of 63.5 million MSMEs, not more than 2.4 lakhs are actually medium. Rest entire business segment is all micro and small units. And it would not be a misnomer to say that in India, perhaps the entire industrial goods and services segment essentially is driven by micro and small segment, and which is why almost 99.7% of the of the industrial business operations coming from micro small enterprises, providing employment to just about 12 million people. Now, this is a very concerning issue, because when just 12 million people get employed by MSMEs, which essentially occupied 99.7% of the landscape, then it's something that everybody must sit up and take notice, that why MSMEs are unable to grow. And as recently, about a couple of years back, the chief economic advisor, while presenting his economic survey, mentioned something about MSMEs in India having propensity to remain dwarf. When he compared that figure with other countries, growing countries like especially Mexico, US and other places, he said that India is one of those countries, it happens to be, where after 40 years, just about 10% or 20% of the industrial units, MSMEs, grow 20 times, whereas in other countries, 4 times, whereas in other countries, they grow 40 times, 20 times. US, it grows 20 times. In Mexico, it grows 14 times. So that's something which actually stands out. And one of the pain points that Kiranji just now mentioned, that actually holds the key, and that is archaic labor laws, inflexible labor laws. Something really needs to be done. Piecemeal kind of fixing may not work here. Then another issues, perhaps Vishalji would be taking up during his presentation later, is of course, majority of the MSMEs are actually supplying their goods and services to government sector, whether it is central government departments, state government departments, CPSUs and state PSUs. And that they are the customers who perennially delay their payments. So what you find is that MSME sector perpetually remains financially stressed, not because they don't have resources, but because almost all of their resources get completely used up and taken up by the government supplies, and they are unable to realize those payments, and which is what actually pushes them into a corner and finally pushing them into sickness also, and makes their businesses very, very unsustainable, unviable, and then all kinds of things start happening.